Sometimes it feels like you've got a decent cash stack, and the next you've bought supplies for whatever reason and you're back to square one. I've been there, I think we all have. I'm gonna go through 5 skill and moneymakers that genuinely hold up. Some of them are for newer accounts, and some of them are for more established players. If you want to enter the giveaway for a bond, make sure you're subscribed to the channel, like this video, and comment down below what you're doing as a moneymaker right now. A good start is something that has 0 requirements beyond, I guess, just membership. No quests, no skill levels, just a knife and a bit of patience. If you're a newer account that's trying to make some GP, this is a decent option. Scaly blue Dragonhides are dropped by a classic RuneScape monster, blue dragons, and you can buy them from another player using the GE. All you do is use a knife on them. The GP rate can be significant. The margin between the raw hides and the scales they produce is where the profit is, and at good click and paste this can reach into the millions per hour range. But obviously the prices move, so I would suggest verifying the margin is still there before buying 1,000 hides and wasting important early GP. There is also the chance that they don't insta buy in bulk. If you want to do this consistently, put in an offer to buy a bunch of them and come back to it. It's not exactly crazy GP, but it's very accessible. Catching chins is one of the most iconic hunter moneymakers in the game, and it scales pretty nicely as your account progresses. For red Chinchompas you need 63 hunter and completion of Eagle's Peak. That quest is what unlocks the box traps, so it's not optional if you wanted to do this method. The go-to location is the Feldip Hills, south of the Fairy Ring code AKS, or you can use a Feldip Hills teleport. If you've completed the Hard Western Provinces diary, you unlock the dedicated red Chinchompa hunting ground, which has far more spawns packed together, making it noticeably more efficient. And if you've done Song of the Elves, the Gwyneth Hunter area in Prifddinas is a great spot for reds, as well as the new Chinchompa Island added with sailing. The GP scales with the current market price, but you could expect somewhere between 600k to over 1 million per hour depending on your level and current price. And now the more expensive black Chinchompas. You'll need the same Eagle's Peak requirement for box traps obviously, but you also need 73 hunter as well. Now I know catching these may put some people off as they are in the wilderness, but if you did want to give it a go, they spawn southeast of the lava maze at around level 32 wilderness. Of course a lot of people don't like dealing with the PKers because if you die you just lost all the work you just did, but you can for sure get used to surviving and escape into a bank. Or if you're good at PKing, you can try anti-PK them. You will want to bank fairly often. You can use a glory for a quick teleport. The payoff is considerably higher than red or grey chins. At 73 hunter you're already looking at close to 1 million per hour. At 99 with tick manipulation and minimal PKer interference, you could push past 2 million. Your actual results will vary heavily depending on how active the world is and your ability to survive. There are loads of tutorials on how to do certain methods and tick manipulation to maximize how much you're making here. Hunter is one of those skills where the GP genuinely compounds as your level goes up. If you're planning on getting 99 anyway, you can make some good money on the way. Fletching Dragonstone Bolt tips. This next one is for players with a decent fletching level and a good amount of capital to invest. To fletch Dragonstone Bolt tips onto Dragon Bolts, you need level 84 fletching. The process itself is super simple. Buy Dragon Bolts and Dragonstone Bolt tips from the GE. Use the tips on the bolts and then sell them back. I would always suggest slow buying and slow selling everything to make as much as possible. The reason that this is profitable is that enchanted dragon bolts, Dragonstone especially, are heavily used in both PVM and PvP. Demand consistently outpaces supply, and that gap is your margin, saying that this method needs meaningful upfront investment. Dragon bolts aren't exactly cheap, so you need a good cash stack to even get started at scale. If you're a mid-level account still building up, this might be something to work towards. But if you've got 84 fletching and the GP to invest, it's one of the lower effort methods for the return you can get. Let's be honest, majority of people hate, and I don't say hate lightly, everyone hates agility. The traditional rooftop courses are slow, they're boring and feel like they're specifically designed to do your head in. The Hallowed Sepulchre is completely different, at least in my opinion. It's an agility activity beneath Darkmire. To access it, you need to complete Sins of the Father. This quest has pretty steep requirements, so it's not for fresh accounts, of course. The minimum agility level to enter is 52, and each additional floor requires higher levels. The agility level cannot be boosted to, so bear that in mind. You run through each floor in a timed window, avoiding traps and obstacles to reach the coffins. These coffins are the source of income. Things like Renar seeds, Sandfru serums, runite bolts, blood runes, and that big ticket item, the Ring of Endurance. At floor 4 and 5, if you can eventually execute it well, the GP can reach 1.8 to 2 million per hour. To get the most out of it, you'll want the hallowed items. These stack using the hallowed marks you collect from the coffins. Bringing mahogany planks to repair broken bridges is also recommended to save time. The XP rates are also pretty good at 92 agility. You're looking at around 85 to 95k per hour, which is way better than rooftops, but obviously it's high intensity and actually takes some skill. The combination of good XP and solid GP from a single activity is rare in this game. A lot of players who typically avoid agility often end up enjoying this. Rouges Castle Chests. I saved this one for last as it has the highest risk, but it also has the highest ceiling. This is for players who want to make pretty serious money from thieving, and people who aren't put off by it being in the wilderness. You need 84 thieving, and to actually receive the loot from them, you need at minimum the medium wilderness diary complete. The hard wilderness diary is strongly recommended. It gives 25% extra loot per chest, and also helps when using wilderness obelisks. When you search a chest, the rogues turn aggressive and start attacking you. Just turn on protect from melee and you'll be fine. You could keep your hit points low just in case a PKer does appear, and they do a lot. If they do and you have low HP, you can try make it so it's a PVM death and not a PvP death. This will be way cheaper than losing your gear to a player. The staircase in the castle can buy you some time to log off or escape if things get messy. What makes this method worthwhile is how much it delivers simultaneously. A great amount of thieving XP per hour while making potentially up to 1.8 million GP per hour. That is if you're mostly undisturbed, which I highly doubt will happen. Even teams log on here all the time. The wilderness risk is the main downside, of course, so bring a low cost setup either to tank some damage to escape or something to anti-PK. If your thieving level is there and you're comfortable operating in the wilderness, this is genuinely one of the most rewarding methods this skill has to offer. Thank you for watching the video. Be sure to enter the Bond giveaway. If you're looking for progression, to make money, or anything OSRS, one of these videos on screen might interest you. I hope you're having a good day, and until the next one, peace.